And so quite quickly we learned that actually we need to listen quite a lot when we're in the area. And that's what we did for most of a year, is just trying to listen and be a part of the community and come alongside people and become members of the community before we start speaking into the community. So I became a governor at the local school because my kids go to the local school. I got on the darts team at the pub. I got involved in a whole lot of different things in the area just to try and hear and be a part of the community before doing anything. 4 months in, another Christian couple joined us into the area. They just got married, and their first marriage home was our house, where they stayed in our spare room in the area, which was quite an interesting community time together. But that was our start of our Christian community. And often we call what we have a Christian community and not necessarily a church, because the name church actually doesn't do much good in the area because it's seen in a negative light. Generally that word incites money grabbing, singing, clapping hands, and hating homosexuality, especially in Brighton. So we call ourselves a Christian community and people that model our lives on Jesus. And so most people think Jesus is a good guy, and so that works well for us. Since moving in, we run a gathering or community on a Sunday with 2 parts to it, where we invite people that we know in the area for a meal, and they come out and they hang out and their kids come and join, and we do that in our house. And later in the afternoon, about 4ish, we start to say, hey, this is our time that we're going to meet. You can join us if you're not, if you can go home if you don't want to, but this is what we're going to do. And some of them stay, some of them don't. And that time we have another meal coming up, but then we have communion and prayer and talking around the table and sharing Jesus and life stories and discipleship, which is great. And that's how we run stuff on a Sunday. Since moving in the area, I am also a befriender, which means that I come alongside lonely and isolated people that don't really get out much. So 2 days a week, I see about 11 clients that I befriend, which is a huge array spectrum of people, which are people from that don't see anyone else throughout the whole week until they see me the next week. So I see them for about an hour, maybe a bit more, but a lot of them don't see anyone except for their carer. So a lot of carers come in, help them get changed, get ready, leave. And so I'm a lot of people's only friend, or pastor, or person that they can just talk rubbish with, or play chess with, or don't have to even talk, just go out and watch TV with even, but just someone to be there, which I found at first, coming from a youth pastor's perspective to this, quite daunting. But God has just really blessed it, and I don't think I've had more conversations about Jesus or talks about life or learned so much from those conversations, and it's actually been such a blessing now further on to look back at those people, and they're my friends now, and I've walked life with them and seen stuff with them, and we do stuff, and it's a real privilege to do that, and I wouldn't drop that now, because it's a great opportunity to get in the community, meet people, get into homes, get into families, and pastorally care for someone, which is wonderful. But while doing that, I saw that in the area there were 3 different over 50s clubs, is what they call them, which was just mainly having a cup of tea and getting together, getting people together. And all these clubs were run by outside charities and didn't know of each other really, and got their own funding and ran it. But because no one was local that they were running it, they don't know about the other ones, they don't really care about the other ones. So quickly saw that I needed to get them together and make sure that they were on different days and spread out. But that was quite interesting. But from that, I saw that a lot of men weren't going to those clubs because they didn't want to sit around and have a cup of tea. They wanted to do stuff. So I started praying about that, and I recognised a property in the area that would be perfect right in the middle, and I thought about starting a men in sheds group, which is, if you don't know about that, it's a handyman's club kind of thing, of men coming together and socialising and talking and building alongside, well, not even talking, don't have to, but generally doing odd jobs and working on things, which can be also used for the community. So I started talking to the council offered me a piece of land, and then I checked that out, and then they passed me on to someone else in the council, who passed me on to someone else in the council, and the latest person said, okay, let's go look at the property together that we're talking about, and then go from there. And I'm like, it's a plot of land, it's not a property, what are you talking about? And he says, no, I'll meet you there. So we met there at the property address, and it was that property I've been praying over. And he says that you guys can have this and use it, because the charity that's been using it are moving out, and we don't want it to be boarded up. And so you can have it rent-free. You just have to keep it at the same standard that it's at. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And I was blown away. And from there, things have just gone from strength to strength. So we are now going to be running 2 days a week a Men in Sheds group that is the hope to get people together, give them a purpose and a function and something to strive for, as well as blessing the community, but also having good spiritual conversations, hopefully, alongside people. And so the hope in that is that it's seeking shalom, of well-being, of not just the soul, but also the mind and the body together. And now this building is too big for just Men in Sheds. And so I asked the council person, can we use this for, what can we use this for? Is it just set aside for Men in Sheds? And they said, no, for your charity. You can use it for whatever you want as your charity. So currently, after moving in, we started a thing called CHOMP, which is a feeding scheme for families that are dependent on the free school.
That's waking you up, isn't it, John?
So CHOMP is a thing that is for families that are dependent on the free school meals. So on holidays, families struggle because their budgets aren't ready for their kid to have lunch every day. So we run a holiday club / meal thing for kids during the holidays. And we have been using the church hall, the Catholic church hall that doesn't really run, but now we can also use this building for that, which is amazing how God's putting that together. And I can use that as a meeting point for befriending. And we can see what God's got in store. But through this, it's been a journey all the time of seeing what God's stepping out, seeing what God's got in store, stepping out, seeing what, and it's been better following Jesus on his leading than us coming with our plan and seeing what we have to go ahead with. I mentioned that I'm darts captain at the pub, or play darts now. I'm the darts captain, and I've been suckered into that. But with that, I'm informally the pub chaplain, because everyone knows me, and they know I'm a minister, and because we hadn't had a building before, we had our carol service in the pub. And so we worked with the High Anglican Church and the Catholic Church, and they came, and we had a carol service at the pub this Christmas, which was the most messy carol service I've ever been to, let's say. And I've been working church ministry for over 10 years, and we had dance-offs at our carol service and sing-offs. And it was amazing because it was just two cultures colliding in that culture's environment and not our own where we control. And it was amazing. And since then I've had so many deep conversations with people. People going, hey, I was confirmed as a kid, I was done. What does that mean for me? And he's just basically asking me about his salvation. Is he soul, or is he going to heaven? Like, that's one of the deepest questions you can just get asked around a pub. And it's amazing to have those conversations and have them comfortably and freely with both sides, no power agenda. It's been really great to step into that and grow in that, and we've had fruit from that